kind of.
Yeah, what are these things?
They're baritone guitars.
So what the heck happened all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Because like these things were nowhere to be seen. I feel like they were just rare little niche things. And I feel like all of a sudden,
Bam! Everybody wants them.
everyone's making baritones. Everybody wants one. I love that song by Van Halen. Everybody wants some. Such a good, and Better Off Dead. The version of that in that movie, the same version, but the way they use it in that film, wonderful. It's a very sort of trippy moment. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think
You haven't seen Better Off Dead? John Cusack?
I don't know if I have. We've talked about this before.
I know, I'm still
We had a whole thing. We had a rash of
I thought you
messages.
would by now.
That would imply that like I listen to the things that we say and then go and react to them.
Anyway, click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Okay, baritones. So D'Angelico just announced one too. So everyone's like, there's been all sorts of slews. You know, this is my favorite in the world.
It's all the rage.
But so I'm holding a Casadosa one.
I mean, like, so there's Casadosa. Here's a nice little Gretsch. We had a Squire one. You said D'Angelico just announced one. There's the mule like resonator thingies that you can get tuned to baritone.
PRS has one,
PRS,
obviously.
yeah, totally.
Squire's got them.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch of manufacturers. Like Chapman has one. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but they weren't. They were nothing to be found. Like, and
I think they were sort of relegated to like the thing that's in the studio that you like put on your track because it fills it out, but it's not. It's usually not out front.
looks like, who are the artists like that we think of? Like I think of Dwayne Eddy.
Yeah.
I don't think of, you know, typical country music and stuff, but I think, you know, I think a lot of Dwayne Eddy, Pat Metheny.
It's all over that old like 90s country stuff.
Is it really?
Yeah, man.
See, like, that's why I just never thought about that.
It's in the background. Like my little girl loves, her favorite song in the whole world is Suds in the Bucket. And there's that whole lead line.
I thought you said Suns in the Bucket.
Suns in the Bucket. No, it's Suds in the Bucket and the clothes hanging out of the line. But that's
so cute, you know it.
If you know, you know. Oh yeah, I knew it before that. But yeah, baritone guitar.
And the other guy from one of your favorite bands, John Petrucci, plays them.
The good old Dream Theater, yes.
He is.
But don't forget Buckethead.
Did Buckethead play them?
Apparently he did.
Well, and then we found like one track of like Eddie Van Halen rocking out one line.
Shredding on one.
And it was like, oh, this is actually useful. A double neck.
Yeah.
Baritone double neck.
That makes sense to me. Having like, okay, I can reach up and
I
play.
think a double neck baritone and anything by Carlos double neck makes sense to me.
I mean, the Casadosa might be the only one I've touched. I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of need this.
Which is frustrating because it's an expensive guitar.
Yes.
And it's not like, oh, I'm getting a Gretsch or a Squire
No.
one. This is...
And part of me is like,
But it's so good.
forever I said instead of a baritone, I'd rather have just like a bass 6 because I think those are super cool.
They're pretty much the same thing, right?
Well, they're just tuned to E to E. They're just octave down.
It's just, they live in that same world.
I mean, sort of.
You could tune it.
I mean, I guess you could.
Anyway, so what has driven the popularity of these strange things? What is going on now, though? Because they've been around in the subsurface.
Yeah.
But now they're like, it's all sorts of artists are playing these.
I mean, we've got like
playing?
Ariel Posen's playing them.
Who's that?
He's a fantastic slide guitar player of Canadian descent, I believe.
He's also very attractive.
He's very attractive.
And his beard is like stunning. It's a stunning beard.
He's like the baritone John Mayer.
God, he is kind of like that. He's sort of smooth and sultry.
That's how I like every time I hear him sing, I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
He reminds like John Mayer mixed with that like sort of self-help guy, that Tony Robbins. It's like John Mayer and Tony Robbins had a baby.
But I mean, when you hear his like guitar solo-y stuff, like when I watch live things of his songs, and then out of nowhere comes this like kind of grungy, awesome like baritone slide solo stuff.
Yes.
I mean, you can see why people are getting into it.
I think he has one of these too.
Yes, I think that's true.
And who else has all these? Pearl Jam has a bunch of them all of a sudden. If it's just weird, but also just it's been in that sort of sub like metal genres as well, sort of sneaking out. But now it's sort of crossing slightly. Its tiptoe has gone into the mainstream a bit, which has always been on the peripherals. I think a lot of that has to do with the guitar playing populace. We've been playing guitars for so long, and we're always wanting something new.
That's true. So, well,
something different.
Does that mean? Do you think this will be a fad? Or do you think it'll hang around a little more?
I think it's entering
permanently. Like it's sort of entering the mainstream in a way
Maybe, because I think people are starting to play it differently than how it was used as just a sort of sort of bass line. It's being used as the main guitar parts now.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, well, and I think, for a while the thing was tuning down, right? I mean, maybe not in stuff we listen to, but metal, you tune way down. So kind of makes sense that's filtering into other genres. Or maybe there's a resurgence in spaghetti westerns. I don't know.
I was like, what's he going to say? That wasn't true.
No, that's not true.
That was cool if it was, though, because I like spaghetti westerns. I can't wait to start watching that stuff with my kids. I think they're about ready for like Outlaw Josie Wales, which is not really spaghetti.
It's not, but it's so good.
But that's one of my favorites.
It's a good one.
Because he's also a proper, he's a good old Confederate that's just been done wrong, and he shows the bad sides of the Confederate and the bad sides of the Union. It's bad guys in that good movie. And the ending's just sort of like weird and sort of dark. And just a dark movie. No, all those are.
It's a long movie.
It is a long movie. Isn't it like 2.5 hours?
I think it's longer than that, but it's really good.
No.
Isn't it?
I don't know. I just feel like movies couldn't be long back then.
I thought it was crazy long.
And even going for like the Unforgiven, that's like one of the best westerns ever made, probably.
It's pretty darn good.
It might be up there, but the Outlaw Josie Wales.
There's just so many good The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. High Plains Drifter.
High Plains Drifter is one of the greatest movies ever made. If you haven't seen that, and you have like a 12-year-old son or something that needs to be educated on what it means to be a man,
there you go.
That's the movie for you right there.
Easy.
It is a great western. I think me and the kids will watch all those eventually.
Yeah.
Not quite as fast as the Marvel, the MCU.
A little slower, but awesome.
My kids made it through the original Tron. If they can make it through that, they can make it through anything. That movie's not good. It does not hold up, unfortunately. And I thought I loved it as a kid. I'm like, oh.
That makes me think about the other day. You know how Netflix sends you like, new movies?
Yes.
It was Walking Tall with The Rock.
I thought that movie stupid as heck?
Well, no, it's actually pretty good.
I still like that movie.
I thought it was going to be like a new series of Walking. You know how they went there? I think they made all those series of movies. But do you remember the original Walking Tall? That, if you've never seen the original Walking Tall.
It's a 2x4. That's his weapon.
Dude, and he makes a little handle on it. Dude.
Whack, whack. It's like
bad man.
It's like Bruce Campbell prequel.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Great movies as well. Not for the kids, probably.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe.
I watched this as a child with my father, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it explains a little bit. You hog weirdo.
Yeah.
No, so I'm excited. I think this is becoming part of the not mainstream, but it's entering our. Most guitar players will have one of these, I think, before it's all said and done. Like when you get your Strats, your Tellys, your Les Pauls, and your 12 strings and who maybe shot this bullet off too early was Taylor Guitars.
I was going to say they were ahead of their times.
They made these baritone 8 strings that I'm still kicking myself that I didn't keep one because I always wanted one. And I was like,
you did. I remember you wanted one. You were like,
I know.
Oh yeah.
We had that one custom shop, that one that they did that was spectacular, but it was like $8,000. I was like, I can't.
Right.
Like maybe it was like 7. This was like 6 years ago too. So it was
that was even more then,
That seemed like outrageous, which it is still. But
however,
but now we're older and richer, so we can buy these dumb toys. No, but then they
I'm definitely older. I'm not sure.
No, but I think they made a 300 or 400 series one that was before, but it was like around $2,500, and it was like, man. And the 8s, they doubled the D and the G strings, which are not D and G on these things, obviously, but where that would be.
Right. That's what made it an A string. It wasn't like,
No, it wasn't like they dropped more.
Which was kind of neat.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I hope Taylor Guitars, if you're listening, or if you have that baritone A string, like great, keep it, but make some more of those. Those are cool. I know they're niche.
They're like, Baxter, we sold 8 of those. They might have a warehouse full somewhere.
Baxter, you want them?
I mean, but they were super cool, but I think maybe a little ahead of their time.
I think they were. I think the populace wasn't ready.
They were really fun to play.
People didn't realize that Errol Posen was out there yet.
Right. I think most people were just kind of like, they were novel. They weren't quite thinking of them as like, oh, I'll make real music with these things as the main instrument, the lead instrument.
No, but it's there now. So we have a healthy, comfortable market there.
You'll play all your baritones.
I'm going to play lots of baritones. Thank you for joining us. Baritone Guitars, signing out.